Hey y'all, welcome back to the party. It's me, your girl BrittReacts, and today we're reacting to Ari Shaffir, Hunt for the Edible. Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah, somebody's like, that's cheating. I'm like, this is fucking drug hiding. There's no rules.
This outfit?
This isn't Milton Bradley, all right? They won. They did it exactly right. They got the pot and they ate it.
I have a bone to pick. I have a bone to pick with you, YouTube. YouTube, I have a bone to pick. Now, the way YouTube will run a creator down, run us down for the simplest things and give us a infraction, a copyright, a warning. Y'all let this man film this and put this on the tube of you? Y'all let him film this very graphic opening of this show and place it here on your platform? I got questions. I have questions. What in the not safe for work children or Christians was that? I just don't. I am all out of water. There's just ice in my, I don't even have anything to like gather myself. Just hydrate. That was a lot. That was a lot. And by the word that is plastered on this screen right now, there's only more of it coming my way. All right, let me breathe, stretch, shake, let it go. If you can name that song or that artist, wow. We're supposed to be friends.
He's got his own podcast called The Skeptic Tank. Please give it up for Mr. Ari Shaffir, everybody.
Not him introducing himself in this 70s velvet, crushed velvet
I go
purple
to UFC
suit.
events a lot, and my friend gets me tickets. Joe Rogan, he's my buddy, and
Right.
I like to get high. I like to get super fucking high. I go to UFC events. The first 3 or 4 were really fun. You know, it was exciting, people punching each other, but then it got fucking boring after a little bit. So I needed to get blasted on marijuana edibles. Yeah, my friend's like, how do you smuggle them in? I'm like, in your stomach. That's how you smuggle them in. As soon as you get to the parking lot, you just eat that shit and then fucking have a great time at the UFC. It's like 6 hours long, and those pot cookies last sometimes 6, 7 hours. And in LA, we have the best system. You just go to a dispensary, like a fucking gentleman, stop by a store, say, what are you doing? Like, I'm going to a UFC event. They're like, oh, I got just the cake for you. And they'll fucking pick one out. They'll help you with it, too.
In the comments, let me know if you've ever been to a dispensary, more specifically in California, because I've been to 2. I don't partake in any of that just because as a youth, I learned it's not for me. But I've been in one. And they're like, it's like going into a Macy's. Like, it really, the customer service. Sometimes there's lines out the wazoo. They have all high technology in there. Everything's so nicely lit and placed out. Like the ones I've been to, at least. I just was like super impressed by just how like professional it is. So yeah, when he said like a gentleman, it is quite true. It's not like pulling up to a trap house and getting anything, you know?
Going to a UFC event, they're like, oh, I got just the cake for you. And they'll fucking pick one out. They'll help you with it, too. Anyway, so we take these pot breast strips. Have you guys ever had the pot breast strips? The marijuana breast strips?
Breath
No?
strips?
All right, well, you've had them. They're great. They come 2 to a pack. They're in those little Ziploc bags, the ones that are like that big. The ones that are like only for drugs.
Right. Right.
There's nothing else you have to keep fresh in that size.
Right.
What else? What do you have to keep one apple seed from going sour? I don't know how they manufacture those and think they're for anything else. They're for fucking heroin, crack, and a little bit of pot edibles. So they're breast strips. They're like Listerine breast strips, but they have, I don't know how they make them. Scientists.
Question, did they discontinue those Listerine breast strips? Because I don't ever see them anymore. Like, they were the most powerful, effective, impactful breath mint ever, but they were terrible. But like, if you knew, like, if you needed to get the job done and get some fresh breathy, minty breathy, minty breath. That was the thing. They were like little squares, and they were green. They were Listerine. Do they still sell those? Where does one find those? I don't know. Also, this Laker themed 70s ruffled David Ruffin number here. If you get the David Ruffin reference, we're also meant to be family at this point.
They're breast strips. They're like Listerine breast strips, but they have, I don't know how they make them. Scientists, pothead scientists have put marijuana in them. And they get you, the proper dose is half of one. They come 2 to a pack. So it's a party for 4. And yeah, you have to fold it in half and crease it and then tear it in half. And you eat half, the other person eats half. It does not make your breath smell good, by the way. Yeah, it makes it smell like weed. You need a real breath strip after you're done with it.
Oh, yeah.
So one time I took a full one. Oh no, I took one and a quarter because somebody wasn't gonna join in. So we're like, fuck it, let's just keep going. And I was high for 27 hours. Yeah.
Ari is the first person I've seen that actually turns around and acknowledges the audience behind him. I always say when I watch this Is Not Happening show, the people that got the seats behind the comic, am I okay? Like, they got the bad seats. Like, they never even turn around and acknowledge him. But I know this is Ari's show, so maybe that's why he, like, has the scope of things. Okay, back to you. Oh, hold on. I muted it by accident. Y'all, you get what you get. You don't pitch a fit.
Join in, so we're like, fuck it, let's just keep going. And I was high for 27 hours.
That is god awful.
It's too long to be high for.
God awful.
I woke up in the morning, I was like, I'm really groggy. And then by 3 p.m., I'm like, why am I still groggy? Oh, I'm high as shit. I'm still super high. So I take him with Joey Diaz. We take him, we sit there, we're like, oh, I feel him. And then after a while, we're like, yeah, I feel him. You just get blasted. It's a fun way to watch the fights. It really is. It's hard to score the cards. Like, to score the rounds. Like, who's winning? I'm like, I don't know. They're both trying really hard. I know they're both sweating, so maybe 1 round apiece. I don't know. Yeah, when somebody does get like, he won 30-27, like, oh, so close! And it's like, it was a blowout. You're like, well, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's the best way to watch fights. And I would tell people on podcasts and stuff and on Twitter how I did it, and people are like, oh, that sounds so cool. And after a while, I was like, I feel bad for the people who can't live life like a California person does, you know? Doesn't have access to the medical grade marijuana shit we have all the time.
Right.
So I decided I was gonna like bring some to Vegas to a...
Not distributing. Not traveling with and distributing. Who is this man? Like... Who is this? What? I just, I've told this story before on the channel. I was actually, when I was like in my early 20s, I had just moved back to New York as an adult. And I went on this date. And the guy bought a brownie. And I feel like I was quite naive. And he told me what it was. And I was like, oh, okay. I took a whole half of this thing, y'all, by like... The time the waitress brought us the water to the table, I was in deep prayer to God to bring me down. Like, I was like, God, I will give you my firstborn. I will give you my love, my life, my blood. Like, people who can function like that, like, good for you. I am not one of them. It's like, I really learned in my early times and where I was able to I was kid free. I was, in my early 20s living in New York. Come on, guys, come on. But no, this type of stuff is not for me. But this guy is so, like, he is just, he lives a wild life. Like, not safe for cameras to be around kind of life.
So I decided I was gonna like bring some to Vegas to a fight and just give them to a fan. And just let him watch the UFC the way I watch the UFC. Fucking obliterated out of my mind on a marijuana edible. Instead of just handing it to somebody, I decided I was gonna have a scavenger hunt. Yeah, so Rogan does the weigh-ins on Friday afternoons, and then the fights are on Saturday nights. So half the stadium will get shut down for the weigh-ins, and I can walk back there with them. So I have access to half of the MGM Grand Garden Arena. And I can just walk around, and I just hid stuff. They're like that small, they hide anywhere. So I taped it to the bottom of a men's bathroom sink. And then I made a bunch of clues, like on the second floor, I made a bunch of clues and I put them on Twitter like every 2 minutes. I timed them out for when the fight started the next day.
This isn't legal, is it? Like, is this like this? He's telling this story, and I'm just like, is there a charge or 10 affiliated with this story?
One was like, if you want to get high, go up a level, you know? That made everyone second floor, you know? And then like, don't forget to relieve yourself before a long trip, shit like that. And eventually somebody got to the bathroom, he followed the clues, got to the bathroom, was like, I think it's here, and fucking went underneath the sink and pulled off this little drug bag. And he fucking did it. He had a great time. Yeah, I felt like Robin Hood, everybody. It was wonderful.
Robin.
The power of giving. And I started doing it more and more. I got off on it. For $20, you can make someone's day. I would tape it, like they would tape it to a pillar, like down here, just this small, you know? You just tape it right there. I went to see if somebody found it, and I was walking by the section it was in, like there's like 3 fights later. I went by like this to like see, and some usher comes by and he goes, "What you're looking for is no longer here."
The usher was fed up. Imagine if a kid or like an elderly person or someone who doesn't like respond well to this. Well, I am not putting anything in my mouth that I just like, no, I don't care who you are, how famous you are. I don't care if it's a scavenger hunt or you put it right in my hand and I watch it grow up from the ground. Just no.
I guess a bunch of people have come by.
Right.
Like looking. Because that's the thing, I don't tweet like, hey, party's over, somebody found it. I just like put the clues out, and then when somebody gets it, they get it. Oh, it's great. It's so much fun. And then I started doing it at comedy shows too. One time I just taped those breast strips to the bottom of a chair in Philadelphia, and then I wrote on Twitter. I was like, if anybody, no clues. I was like, if you follow me, look under your chair. If you find it, you get it. If not, somebody in the next show will get it. If not, somebody in the next show will get it. So the very first show, Wednesday night, these 2 like 22-year-old kids, they just waited till the show was over and went under all the chairs. Yeah, they found it. Yeah, somebody's like, that's cheating. I'm like, this is fucking drug hiding. There's no, there's no rules. This isn't Milton Bradley, all right? They won. They did it exactly right. They got the pot and they ate it. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. One time I hit a lollipop in Austin, outside in the parking lot, outside Cap City Comedy Club, and some pregnant lady found it. Yeah, she was like, is this safe to eat? I'm like, I don't think I've done any studies on that at all, so... Yeah, eat it. I would eat it.
As a pregnant woman, I'm upset. And if she did it, I'm just... I hope this part of the story is embellished.
Studies on that at all, so... Yeah, eat it. I would eat it. Better safe than sorry, you know? Because what if she didn't eat it, and then they do tests like years later, and they find out it would have been safe, and she didn't eat it? She'd never forgive herself. Is that what better safe than sorry means? Am I interpreting it right? No. So my friends are like, you're getting in trouble. Like, I'm not gonna get in trouble. I'll be fine. I'll be totally fine because I'm a good person, you know? I'm like Robin Hood. Robin Hood didn't get in trouble, did he? All right, anyway, back to my story. So I was in the Mall of America, and people were like, are you gonna bring those, are you gonna do what, we call it hunt for the edible. That's what I did. That was a hashtag on Twitter, hunt for the edible. And I would delete all the clues after somebody found them. I would go back.
Okay, he's deleted, but does anyone have, like, was anyone there for this? Did anyone, like, join in on the hunt or see the tweets? Just let me know in the comments. I'm not judging you at all. I really am not. I just want to know, like, I think I want to know how real and true this story is more than anything.
Back there and fucking delete them all. But anyway, so the Mall of America, I was like, well, what better place to bring fucking drugs, you know? So I hid these marijuana breath strips in an underwear aisle of a J. Crew at the Mall of America. Yeah, there was a comedy club upstairs, Rick Brunson's House of Comedy. It was all the way upstairs, and I hid it, and then I made a bunch of clues. And like, I mean, this is big. Mall of America is massive. There was like 50 people running around the Mall of America looking for these pot breath strips. And anyway, then I set all the clues on like auto like release, so every 2 minutes one would go out. And then I was outside my show getting ready to go on. I was just texting, and all of a sudden I heard somebody to my right, Ari, can we talk to you? And I looked up, and it was a Mall of America cop.
Right.
Yeah, and on my left was a Minneapolis like state trooper.
Right.
And
Finally.
I was like, well, fuck. All right. And I was like, what's going on? And they go, did you hide drugs in the underwear aisle?
This is what I'm saying. If there was proof on Twitter and he's transporting these things from California, I don't know the laws, but like, this can't be legal, right?
But J. Crew? And I mean, I was gonna deny it, but that wasn't a lucky guess, you know?
Right. They saw the tweets, bro.
Like, they must have already known at some point. They're not just going to random people. Did you hide drugs in the J. Crew? Did you hide drugs in the J. Crew underwear aisle? Did you hide drugs in the J. No. So I was like, yeah, I did, so. And they're like, it's super illegal here. I'm like, yeah, obviously. I'm really scared. By the way, mall cops in general, you know, fuck themselves. They don't have any power whatsoever. I was with Dice once, and he was smoking in a mall. I think the Beverly Center. And I was like, what are you doing, man? You can't smoke in a mall. And he goes, really? I'm smoking, so.
Shout out to all the loss prevention specialists, all of the I don't think mall cop is your name, the title of your job, but all of the people who protect us in the mall. Shout out to you. In Atlanta, the people who are hired to do that job are up against some real deal bullets, okay? So they are there to protect and serve, and we respect you, no matter what Ari Shaffir is saying.
And he goes, really? I'm smoking, so. Yeah. And then some mall cop comes up. He's like, yeah, you gotta put that cigarette out. He goes, okay. And he fucking stamps it out. I was like, there, sorry. And then we walk away. And I'm like, see, you got in trouble. He's like, no, I smoked half a cigarette. You smoked none. Good point, Dice Man. Good point. So, but these Mall of America cops, they're like top shelf. Of those shitty mall cops, they're the best of the best. They have their own jail and stuff. So I had to talk out my way out with the mall cop and with the fucking state trooper. And so Rick Brunson, he got on the phone. He lives in Edmonton, the guy who owned the comedy club. He got on the phone with me. He goes, don't smile. I'm going to talk to you. Don't smile, because they're looking at you. So no matter what I say, like, act like I'm yelling, I guess. I don't know. He goes, first of all, I don't give a shit. Like, I know this is an early booking for you, but we'll have you back. Don't worry about it. But I can talk you out of trouble with the mall cops. They wanted to ban you from the mall forever, but that's not going to happen. But he goes, what, did you hide acid in an H&M? And I was like, no.
What is this, a game of telephone? Like, how did it get to that in H&M? What?
You hide acid in an H&M? And I was like, no. Is that what people are saying? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, no, I mean, keep saying that. That sounds way cooler, but no.
Right.
I hid marijuana at a J. Crew. And he goes, what is it? I'm like, it's marijuana breath strips. He goes, they make your breath smell good? I'm like, no, they do not. They make your breath smell awful. And he goes, well, listen, okay, you're for sure going to jail. I can get you out of trouble with the mall cop, with the Minneapolis trooper, like, you're going to jail. But I need you to do me a favor, man. Next time you come, like, you gotta bring me one of those breath strips, dude. I was like, all right, fine. And so I got back, they start calling like anyone else in town that could headline the show, because I'm not gonna be able to.
Oh, he was the headliner.
You know? Right then, some fan, by the way, came over. A lot of times my fans give me like weed on the road, which is pretty cool. And
not
some
in
lady,
front of the
she,
cop.
like, into her purse, like, Ari, can I talk to you? But because the cops were like behind me by like 5 feet, and I was just like, no, don't. Like, how do you like, you know? It's that thing when you open up the door and the cop's there, like, everything all right? And like, yeah, everything's fine, you know? But I had to say it without saying it, you know? And so I was like, no, but then it was just Swedish fish, so. So anyway, so this Minneapolis trooper, he's like, explain to me what happened here. And I was like, I hide, you know, marijuana across the country in like different areas to.
These are just Swedish fish from the dollar store, just so you know. Just to be clear. My favorite candy.
Give people the experience of what it's like to live in California. And he was like, you sell this stuff? I'm like, no, I don't sell it. I just give it away. I'm like Johnny Appleseed, I guess. I guess Johnny Appleweed! Fuck! Oh! For sure, that's what I should have said.
Missed your opportunity.
And I'm like, first of all, how'd you find out that I did that? And he goes, here's your Twitter feed, man. It's just a list of clues. It's just you going here.
You are literally leading them to the product if it's still there, sir. Sir.
The drugs I'm about to hide. And then the next one's like, here's where I'm hiding the drugs. And then fucking 17 clues on how to find the place where you hid the drug. He's like, I'm not gonna get my fucking detective badge for this. And I guess what happened was, the first guy to follow the clue went in there, found it, went right to the underwear aisle, was like, oh, here it is. He's like, yeah, and they left. And then somebody else was following the clues like 2 minutes behind. And they went in there and they're like, oh, nothing's there.
Yeah, J. Crew was like, especially in a store like J. Crew. You should have hit it in like Hot Topic, bro.
Where and they just start fucking throwing shit around in the underwear aisle of the J. Crew until they got kicked out. And then 5 minutes later, somebody else would come in and just start fucking throwing, where the fuck are these drugs? It happened like 8 or 9 times to them. And they're like, are we into the worst terrorist attack of all time? So then somebody called one of the employees and was like, hey, I saw there's some drugs being hidden in your thing. And they found me. It was super easy to find me. And so this cop was like, all right, so explain to me, it's marijuana inside a breast strip? I'm like, yeah. And he asked me the same, does it make your breast smell? No, it's awful. And I think he thought I was just like a good person, I guess. And I didn't have any ill intent.
Is that what he thought? Is that what he thought?
And shit, I wasn't selling it. I was trying to make a profit. I was just giving it to people. Johnny Appleweed. And he goes, so explain this to me. Was it a real breast strip or was it a marijuana breast strip? And I was like, it was a marijuana breast strip.
And he's like,
and he goes, no. Was it a real breast strip or was it a marijuana breast strip? And I was like, no. You didn't hear what I just said? I just told you the fucking answer, idiot. You fucking hard of hearing? It's a marijuana breast strip. And he goes, no, idiot. Listen to what I'm saying to you out loud where people can hear me. Was it a real breast strip or was it a marijuana breast strip? And I was like, oh, all right. Oh, man, I misunderstood the question completely the last 2 times.
Right.
I did not get that at all. Now that I hear it completely, I'd like to strike from the record my other 2 answers because those are completely wrong. That was a real breast strip. I hit a real breast strip in the J. Crew underwear aisle. And he goes, well, then that's just mischief, so I don't see a crime here. Go apologize to the manager of the J. Crew. And he let me off. And that is when I figured out what white privilege is.
He said it, not me. He said it, not me. He said, I'm just like, do you know how many people could not have this interaction? The interaction would have gone so completely different. And I don't know if it's because he's famous or, he knew the guy, whatever. There was so much privilege around it. Now, it didn't even have to just be white privilege. There was so much. There was comedic privilege. There was rich friend privilege. There was so much privilege around that the entire situation. I'm glad he addressed it because in my mind, I'm thinking like, how many people would have gotten tackled to the ground, handcuffed, and thrown in the jail? Like, without the man is interviewing you and he's like giving you the test answers. Come on. As usual, whenever I'm watching this is not happening, I have a headache. I need water. I'm stressed out. I gotta go. Stay safe out there, kids, and go and have the day you deserve.